Welcome, guys, to another episode of We Don't Know Ball, and yet for another fucking episode, we have to replace the guy who knows the least amount of ball, Retro, with arguably a guy that doesn't know ball as much as him. Fucking P4 comes back again as another guest. What's up, P4? How are you, man?
I'm good. How's it going? Glad to be here for the second time, and I think I know the most ball here, actually.
Oh my
Wow.
god.
Well,
Trying
I
to-
mean, you can say what you want. I mean, you should have been on the basketball podcast last night because your cousin had a legacy game. Congratulations to him last night, having a great
Yeah.
game. But we don't give a shit about orange round ball today. We give a shit about oblong brown ball today. And yeah, football this week. Yikes to a lot of teams. I will tell you constantly throughout this podcast, I was right, and people should just start listening to me. I was right. I was right. I was right. One thing I do want to get into quick before we dive into anything else. So, outside of like the elite quarterbacks in this league right now, and I mean like your Stafford, your Goff, Prescott, May, Mahomes, like those guys right now, the guys that are like leading the top elite conversation right now. Is this just a punch-in league now? Like, do quarterbacks just not throw touchdowns anymore? Like, is that what we're getting to? The amount of games that we've covered in the last couple weeks where we've seen quarterbacks win games without throwing touchdowns is starting to get concerning to me. I don't know if these guys just aren't taking risks or if they're not doing it, or in the red zone, we're just like, fuck it, we're just going to run the ball. I don't know what it is. I mean, for the first time in a long time, touchdown to interception ratio in the league is a big plus for a lot of guys. And I mean a lot of guys. Like, you have a couple guys that are in the double digits for picks already this year. That's fine. Herbert, Allen, Darnold, Tua, but who was the arm punter? Trevor Lawrence and Flacco. And then Geno, who he really isn't a quarterback. But, I don't know. A lot of these guys have a good touchdown to interception ratio, but I feel like to win games this year, in the games that guys are winning, they're just not throwing touchdowns. So do you guys have any like input or thoughts maybe behind that before we jump into games? Just slightly concerned.
My thing really quickly is I think that I think most QBs are now being tasked to be dual threats, both rushing and passing the ball. I mean, the two best guys, Allen and Lamar, being the greatest examples of that. And they're switching the dynamic to you have to then be able to play make on your own compared to with your arm. And we're just not seeing a lot of these pocket passers anymore. I mean, yeah, you still have your Burrows, your Herberts. I mean, fucking Mahomes, but he even rushes the at a all-time clip this year. So like, this is where I was saying before, is that it's becoming a harder watch, because I think inevitably we were talking about injuries this past week on the Orange Round Ball podcast, but inevitably these guys are going to have shorter careers, in my opinion, because they're putting themselves in harm's way a lot more, and we're not going to see the primes of Rodgers and Rivers and the Mannings and Brady and all this kind of stuff, because they're just like in basketball, they're peaking at all-time highs, but they're going to have a 5-year prime. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
P4, what's your opinion?
I agree. I think that the peak of quarterback play in the NFL is gone. 2010's quarterback play was the best we've ever seen, probably the best we'll ever see ever again.
Yep.
And for the touchdowns, I think it's a mix of everybody's playing like two high coverages now, and they don't want to give up any big plays down the field. And then when you get in the red zone, it's just easier to run the ball. So, and every team has like, they either have a bell cow or they're running a multi-back system where they can keep guys fresh. They always have a power back to, you know, bowl his way into the end zone. But and I just want to say that the two best quarterbacks are no longer Lamar and Josh Allen, Jules.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm just saying as the example of like dual threats. I agree.
Okay. It's Drake May.
MVP Drake, man.
Yep.
We can get into that later.
Yeah, we can. And then the other thing I want to bring up is, and fuck, I really don't want this to happen, and I think I'm now starting to understand why Tomlin still has my coaching job. If Pittsburgh finishes with a winning record this year, they break the record that they're tied at for 21 straight consecutive winning seasons to move it to 22.
Fucking.
That really looks so great on paper if you don't put in the context of 0-6 in playoff games. So, yeah. Yikes. Yikes. Great. Cool. Anyway, that's all I have before we jump into games. So let's get into the Turkey Day slate. What do we say?
No, let's go.
The Turkey Day slate of Green Bay versus the Lions. I was talking to Jules before we started this. Even though both teams are in the middle of their division competing for second place to hopefully catch the Bears, one of them, LOL. This loss doesn't really hurt the Lions as much as everyone wants to say it does because it's tradition for them to lose on Thanksgiving, and this normally catapults the second half of their season. So I'm not too worried about it if I'm a Lions fan. What I'm concerned about if I'm a Lions fan is why my secondary continues to get cooked every week.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they're so distracted about over the tops or so distracted about run stuffing or whatnot, but the Lions secondary has taken a drastic step backwards off of where they were last year or even at the first half of this year. So I don't know what they're going to do to fix that going forward, but if I'm Dan Campbell, a defensive-minded coach, I'm hitting the drawing board hard.
Yeah. The fact, like, it's weird because we were talking about this a little bit earlier too. Like the Trayvon Diggs and Deron Bland thing, where they were just super aggressive in these zone coverages, and they were picking out the ball a lot. Obviously, Dan Campbell and the Detroit Lions love man coverage and love to be physical with these guys, but now it's taking a toll because I know that they're a little bit banged up. But it's high risk and high reward when we're playing these man coverages, being ultra aggressive because Teron Arnold, I'm pretty sure, is still having these penalty fucking issues, and the fact that he's still getting cooked by a lot of these, like, it's not even high end talent, it's like mid tier slot guys, and it's concerning to see because I like Teron Arnold. I don't want to say I was high on him coming out, but there was concerns, but I
the
think
fact
he's
that
developed.
he can't blanket Dontavian Wicks is a little concerning.
And that's what I was going to say is that now you're getting cooked by one of the 15 number twos that the fucking Green Bay Packers have. So it's like, where do we go from here? And like you said, you go back to the drawing board. I don't know. In the draft, you go get one of these corners coming out this next draft. I don't know because you just don't know where your defensive scheme is. They should be a better defense than they are, and it's just like I think the offense is a little inconsistent, but the defense should be getting more blatant stops against these teams.
The inconsistencies are coming from Sonic and Knuckles, and that's a problem. Is these guys they're taking weeks off in between big games, which is very, very concerning if I'm Dan Campbell, especially now that Amon-Ra's injured, hurt, whatever you want to call it. He's got a little tweak. He'll probably play next week. He'll be fine. I understand sitting him in the situation they were in at the time, like, this game's already over, blah, blah, blah. But going back to what you said about the 15 receiver twos that Green Bay has, I said this last year watching him play before he got hurt. Christian Watson is their number one. I said it last year. Christian Watson is 100% their number one. He's not their elite level one that they've had before, like Devontae or Jordy or anybody like that. But he has this big playability. He has great hands, great high pointing. It's the issue of he runs into the same problem we look at with another elite receiver in the NFL right now who also has great hands, great high pointing, great footwork, great route tree in CeeDee Lamb. You just have to catch the fucking ball when it's put in your area. And I'm seeing a lot of the same trends happening, but if you're going to have the same trends as somebody in the league, I guess that might be a good guy to try to copy. Just maybe catch the ball a little bit more, and we'll be fine. Yeah, this was interesting to me, though. I mean, this felt like a quarterback duel between these two teams because I feel like both running games were held in check very well. Between Love and Goff, they were just out there slanging the ball around. Like, they were trying to... This looked like a shootout. On the Lions side of things, shout out to Jamison Williams for finally having a breakout on his side. 7 catches, 144 and a tutty. But yeah, I mean, like I said, both teams were kept in check on the ground. Micah had 2.5 sacks, so Micah's trying to add to how can I catch Myles Garrett for Defensive Player of the Year stat line, because you just ain't catching him at this point. I brought up Amon-Ra earlier. I think Amon-Ra's injury actually might have been the difference. As close as this game was, his impact later on in that game could have actually probably swayed this for the Lions, and they probably would have broke their Thanksgiving curse, which would have been really just that icing on the cake for this fugazi NFL season. And like I said, I said about Sonic and Knuckles already. Jahmyr Gibbs, we have to have a conversation, sir. You cannot torch every defense in the league that isn't the Green Bay Packers. Like, week 1 and this last week, you got held in check like you didn't belong running a football. Other weeks, you are literally dragging the Lions around on your back to carry this team to wins. So, I don't know what's going to change, because if they see these guys in a first round of a playoff, if they both do somehow jump the Bears, which I don't see both of them jumping the Bears at this point, it's just not happening. He better figure it out fast. Because if he can't run against Green Bay, who he's going to see twice a year for the rest of his career, basically, better figure it out.
I think the Lions are in a little bit of trouble, actually. The offensive line has been definitely regressed a great deal. I know Frank Ragnow has come out of retirement. Dan Campbell was probably at his door on his knees begging him to come save them. But that O-line has been, I'm not going to say terrible, because they showed flashes of being good throughout the season, but it's been pretty bad. And the running game is suffering for it.
Yep.
The passing game suffering for it. Jared Goff he's getting killed out there every week. And I'm starting to feel bad for the guy, honestly.
When's the last time we've seen an offensive lineman have a sophomore slump? Because Penei Sewell, I'd like to welcome you back to football at some point.
It's crazy, honestly.
Yeah.
And that secondary chips and cookies, man. Kirby Joseph is out. I guess that can be a reason for it. But Terrion Arnold has been garbage since he's entered the league. I don't know how much better he's gonna get. And yeah, shout out Christian Watson. He's on my fantasy team. Picked him up like maybe 3-4 weeks ago, and my team is 5-1 since. So
I'll tell you right now, Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs might be the sneakiest underrated receiver duo in football.
I like them a lot. I like those duo. One last thing if we do inevitably move on is I made this kind of an NBA comparison. It's kind of nasty, but bear with me. Kirby Joseph is the Dylan Brooks of the NFL. That's the villain who talks shit and just gets cooked all the fucking time. But Dylan Brooks, for you guys, I know has been well.
So what we're saying is he needs to be rehomed to be elite. Got it. I understand it now.
And then Christian Watson, this is going to be a very nasty thing, but bear with me, because he only plays 6 games a year.
Joel Embiid.
He's either Embiid or he's Zion at this point, because when he's on the field, he's putting up. There's 5 or 6 reception games, but he's going for 90 yards and a touchdown.
You gotta understand, it's his second year. It's his second year, and he's coming off an ACL tear. So for him to come back and actually be the instant impact he's been, that's just they rolled the dice and got lucky on this one, that he's actually coming back and doing it. The issue that I see with Green Bay is you have a certifiable receiver 1 that you drafted this year that you just don't fucking play, and I'm slightly confused. I don't get what LaFleur is doing, what's going on, why Matthew Golden isn't getting snaps. But the kid has the size, the frame, the speed, the athleticism, and the ability to be your receiver 1. And yet you're going to hide him in your depth chart at 5th because he's a rookie. Why?
Is he not hurt?
He had slight tweaks, and he was game time decision, healthy scratch where he played 3 plays and just didn't get targeted at all. So it's he's been active. I don't think he's actually made an injury report yet to where he hasn't been held out. But it's every time I see that number 0 on Green Bay sideline, and I can't stand the Packers, it just leaves me with more questions than I had beforehand. So
I agree. I just want to do the Matthew Golden stats really quick because I think that he's been inconsistent, but I know that he's hurt in like the middle of the year because remember through the first 4 weeks everybody was like Matthew Golden's going to be the new number one because he had a really good first couple weeks.
He
but then
had,
since
yeah,
then,
I believe if I remember correctly, he had a hamstring tweak that held him to limited use and technically healthy scratches, but just suited up but not playing. So
yeah, basically, yeah, Doug, like 3 targets, 3 targets, 3 targets, 4 targets, 5 targets, and this is dating back until like the beginning of or like right the end of September, right after like week 4.
And the
week
worst
5.
part is his numbers would look actually so much better if Jordan Love at the beginning of the year would actually hit him on some of those targets, because there were plenty of situations that. Listen, I've seen every Packer game that's played this year because my mother's a generational Packer hater. I'm a generational Packer hater. It's always how it's going to be. Watching Jordan Love underthrow and completely miss Matthew Golden half the time is just absolutely comical to me, but people still want to say Jordan Love's elite. So I'll just wait for that one to...
He is.
Okay, all right. Well, he's more elite than your guy, but we'll get into that in a bit.
At least borderline.
I mean, yeah,
Like
borderline.
you don't have a guy. Don't have a guy, so
Borderline top 10. Yeah, just let Will Howard develop and we'll be great. Anyway.
Thank you.
Moving swiftly on to arguably the actual best team in the NFC East. The Dallas Cowboys played the Chiefs this week. Dallas has now beat both Super Bowl teams from last year in back-to-back weeks. What? Rain Dakota Prescott outplayed the second best quarterback ever. What? Again, this year in the NFL is just fucking weird. It's so weird. These top seeds are struggling with everything they do, and I'm getting into them fraudulent motherfuckers later because I can't wait for that. Mahomes put up 4 touchdowns in this game on basically emptiness. Like, it really felt empty. It's an empty 4 touchdowns. The one thing that piqued my mind in the stat line this week, Jadeveon Clowney had 2 sacks. Jadeveon Clowney might be one of the sneakiest best additions to this defense, and I might have to recant. Jerry Jones might have been right in trading Micah Parsons. He might be, because this Dallas, no, you can shake your head. This Dallas front 7 of, I don't even know, is it Donovan Izraku, Dante Fowler, Jadeveon Clowney, Quinnen Williams, Kenny Clark, Kenneth Murray, Shamar James, and Logan Wilson. The 4 idiots that play secondary behind you, the fact that you're able to win games, more power to you. More power to you.
I agree, and this is where we can go to say Micah Parsons then equates to 4 or 7 total guys. One has to be an All-Pro. The other one has to be basically on his deathbed in Kenny Clark and so on and so forth. We can add the context where I can understand where you're coming from. But and shout out to Dak, because I'm a generational Dak hater. But I think he's playing great this year. He's been very underrated, and he's been able to do this without CD. And talking about the CTE brother that should have been with DK, George Pickens.
George Pickens is the best receiver in football right now. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. He's playing like the best receiver in football. He is. I'm sorry. Him and JSN are right next to each other at this point, because the way that Pickens is playing is revitalized Dak Prescott, and you can't tell me different. You can keep shaking your head all you want. CD's drop ability, and when he's not there, and Pickens is out here doing Pickens, Ferguson. I don't understand how Dallas's offense is doing this. I don't.
It's almost like the Lakers, right? Super high powered offense, and then their defense will be mad, but their defense has been going up. What I want to go back on, and I wish Retro was here, because I was on record for saying the Chiefs are going to miss the fucking playoffs.
Yep.
And guess what looks real fucking good right now? The Chiefs missing the playoffs. Because I remember a certain someone named Retro, I'll at you, and hopefully you get to watch this. is that, oh, they'll just blow by the Cowboys, easy win. The rest of their schedule, just easy wins. That's why you don't just automatically just go by strength of schedule and just be like, yep, win, 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 win. Yeah, no,
he
that's not what's going to happen.
Looked at their shit and said they'd win out and make the playoffs, and somehow it's looking like Dallas is going to do that instead of KC.
Exactly. Is that the Cowboys have a better chance than the fucking Chiefs do?
Dallas has a shot to win the division still. That's what's insane.
Yes, and absolutely, because even though we can put the context, the Chiefs, okay, yes, I believe they still have the Raiders and still have the Chargers, and the Chargers have their offensive line problems. Cool, you're still having to outbattle Justin Herbert, which is going to be hard amongst itself, but like this is why we go this week by week, and this is why the NFL this year has been the most wonkiest season I've ever been a part of, because everybody's just been like, Kansas City is going to make the playoffs no matter what. Cool, whatever.
Nope.
They still have a better point differential than they did last year, and they were 15-1, and now right now they're at 500 or just under 500. This is a completely different team. This is a completely different team. Mahomes' magic is not there anymore. Yes, he can lead you in drives. Yes, he can give you empty stats. That is not going to do it against this NFL now, to where you are dynamic offensively with the dual running back systems, and these quarterbacks who are out, frankly, are just doing better than you this year, dog. This is why Mahomes is not in this conversation as best of the quarterback this year, is because people like Dak Prescott is outplaying.
He's not in the conversation this year. He's not in the conversation all time. I don't want to hear it anymore. I'm over it. Raise your eyebrows. Tell me when he passed Peyton. Tell me when he passed Joe Montana. I'll wait.
He already passed Peyton for sure.
You're crazy.
But I could hear arguments for Joe Montana, but he passed Peyton. And I want to say a couple things. One, Dak's been this good for a couple years now. Yes, now he has two wide receiver ones on his team, so he's looking. I guess he's looking a little better to some people, but I mean, I don't. Was it last year or the year before where he had a great case to win MVP?
2023, 2 years ago. Yeah.
Okay, 2 years ago, he had a great case to win MVP. I mean, he's been a top 10 quarterback in my opinion, when healthy for the past couple of years.
Yep.
And I honestly shout out George Pickens because we all seen the talent in Pittsburgh, but it's Pittsburgh, so you know, and
What
recently
are you going? I'm not denying it.
people go there and their careers are
If
wasted
you
there.
play for
But
Mike Tomlin, you're cooked. That's just what it's what it comes down to.
it's really bad over there. But yeah, the Cowboys are looking good. Their defense has gotten much better. I still think that you don't trade a guy like Micah Parsons. I don't really care
Can I ask why? Because right now, again, looking at what I'm looking at, Micah Parsons turned into 1, 2, 3, 4, potentially 5 players that are filling out a defense. So congratulations, you traded a guy who's perennially going to be in an All-Pro conversation, but you got 5 of your 11 players on defense because of trading him.
Yeah, but I still think that his overall impact is still greater than the sum of those parts.
So you take him to a team that has a middle-of-the-pack defense, Green Bay, and he elevates them. You can't just keep him with garbage and expect him to make garbage into magic.
I mean, that's true. I mean, I'm not gonna say that the Cowboys lost their trade necessarily, but I don't think
After
you
the
trade a guy
deadline,
like
I
that.
100% think it's a stalemate because I think both teams get better with the trade happening the way it did.
Yeah, but I don't think the Cowboys are really a threat, honestly. I mean, that defense is still not good.
That
It's getting
secondary is
better.
not good. That's what I want to be clear. The defense
It's
is
good.
good. The secondary is not.
If you have a glaring weakness on defense, then it's probably not a good defense, in my opinion. Same thing with the Lions. Like statistically they're good because they have a good front seven, but come playoff time, if you have glaring weaknesses, those things get
If you
exploited.
could
So I'm not
just
really
take
worried
the
about it.
Arizona Cardinals secondary that they have right now and put them on Dallas and give Dallas a secondary to Arizona, this defense would be unbelievable.
Well, Kyler Murray to the Vikings about to feed families.
Anyway, I'm done with that game. Dallas to win the division. Congratulations,
Hell
Dallas.
no.
Good for them.
Hell no.
My favorite game of the week was the last game on Thanksgiving. Joe Shiesty's back, and that's good for football. I don't care what anybody says. My team plays in his division. Joe Shiesty, run the table, win the division, because ain't nobody challenging you for it right now. Go get it. Come back, win out, go get it. I don't care if you don't win in the playoffs. Pittsburgh wouldn't have done it either. Just run the table, get there, and do it. I thought they were going to ease this man back into football. I really did. I thought this was going to be a Joe. We're just going to get you comfortable. It's against Baltimore. 46 fucking attempts. Joe Shiesty came out slanging. Looked like LSU Joe had to go get the gap for a second. It was fucking crazy. The Bengals' 33rd ranked defense had 5 takeaways against Baltimore.
Yeah, no, it's funny because as soon as it's been a meme actually when we made that take on here, like we all understood like, okay, yeah, this Bengals team is fucking trash. As soon as they looked at the Ravens in their eyes when Joe Shiesty came back, we're backpacking, we're doing our shit.
They flipped the switch, dude. They said,
yes.
I ain't playing for nobody else but 9. The actual 9.
The actual
and
9.
They came and played, and it was, oh, God.
It was fantastic.
People say wins are on a quarterback stat. I mean,
it looks
very
like
close,
it in
man.
Cincinnati.
It's as close as you can get.
I agree. This is where it's funny because me, you, Justin, I don't know how you feel about it before about retro. We're like big Joe Burrow glazers. We were all consensus as the best QB in this coming into this year was Joe Burrow. I think that was the only consensus that we really had. And it's being shown. It's definitively being shown because mentioning it before, he can run it a little bit, but the expectation is never that. He's going to beat you by his arm.
The fact that he could scramble with that lead boot on was impressive to begin with. The fact that he was as mobile as he was with that lead boot that he had, if you guys watched the game, they showed it a shit ton. This man was taking his cleat off on the sidelines because of how uncomfortable it is, but he says it's a necessity for him to play, and you know what? Necessity or not, bro, you could play with 20-pound ankle weights on. Go out there and do it because you look good.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's fantastic because I've been telling everybody, Joe Burrow's been better than Lamar. He's been better than Josh.
Facts.
Everybody's telling me I'm crazy, but the guy played. See, like I said before earlier, the peak quarterback play was 2010s, and he's the closest thing we have to it. So I'm always gonna be a big fan of Joe Burrow.
Yeah, and a big thing too is that wide receiving core looks now way better, way more consistent because it was like T. Higgins would get a week.
Was out.
Yeah, T. Higgins would get a week, and then Jamar would get a week, and then Chase Brown would do a little bit of both. Now, as soon as Joe Burrow comes back, everything fucking clicks. Jamar Chase had his career high, or this year, his season high in targets. Not his season high in yards. But
Iosavas got a touchdown.
Yeah, he's. This is where I'm not the biggest fan of the Ravens this year, but if there's a chance that anybody, because funny enough, how many years has it been in a row that Cincinnati has been, below 500, and December comes and Joe Burrow comes out and they just rattle off the fucking table? How many years in a row it is? Was it 3?
Yes. The answer is yes.
It's unbelievable, and this is where Joe Shiesty's because we were talking. I think me and Retro and Justin, I think you were part of this conversation off screen a little bit ago. Was that Joe Burrow put himself decisively in that MVP talk last year between Josh and Lamar by just his second half alone? You know how unbelievable?
By
literally
6 games.
That's unfucking believable. I hope for the Bengals that they are able to run the table. I think it's gonna be, the concern is probably the Bills, but again, the Bills have been inconsistent this year, so that we just don't know.
That's a W for Cincy. That's a W for Cincy.
They just put BTA to the Ravens, and Lamar doesn't show up against the Bengals, so like I said before, I don't want to just chalk wins, but
here's what I'm confused about. Joe gets hurt because of one reason and one reason only: his offensive line. Joe goes down, His defense is dog shit. Joe comes back on Thanksgiving. His offensive line looks top 5 and his defense has 5 takeaways. What just happened? If it weren't for how topsy-turvy the NFL was this year, I wouldn't believe it. But just because it's this year, I understand completely, wholeheartedly.
The only thing that I want to pump the brakes on a little bit is because I remember when we the very first episode when the Bills beat the shit out of the Ravens and the Ravens defense just looked atrocious, and then they've just been trending down since. The Bills defense I haven't been high on this whole year. They're playing Bills defense garbage, Ravens defense garbage, the Dolphins trash cans, the Browns trash cans. Well, defensively they got Myles Garrett, but like I think Joe Burrow would be able to pick them apart. Now, career wise, he has never done good against Cleveland, but that could definitely be a different story. I'm just saying.
Here's the thing, though, is Cleveland won't put up the points. If Joe can score twice, they'll win. Because, like you just said, Cleveland as a whole dog shit. Cleveland's defense is great. Put the Shedeur hand down. He doesn't have anything. He has namesake. That's what Shedeur has. I believe in Shedeur wholeheartedly, but if his team ain't going to back him in Cincy, for him to have success, he's got to go somewhere else. But the issue he's going to have with Cleveland is it's not just Myles Garrett. You got Myles Garrett. You have Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, you have Carson Schlesinger. Like they have weapons on defense that make it scary. So if Joe can put up 2, maybe 3 scores, I think they can comfortably get out of it with like a 27-9 win. I don't think the Browns punch one in on them. I really don't. So I think 2 to 3 touchdowns and 2 field goals gets that game done with. They get out of there, they escape, blah blah blah. I think Buffalo is a test, but I think it's just a test off of namesake because you're going to watch Joe go against Josh, and that's arguably before this year everyone's number 1, number 2 quarterback battle. That's who it was. I think they go in. I think they cakewalk Buffalo. They get Baltimore again the week after. I think they come back and beat Baltimore the exact same way. I think Cincy wins this division. I think we're looking at 2 teams in Cincy and Dallas that are going to come from behind first place finishes in their divisions.
One last thing before we do move on, because I looked at it prior to the game. The Bengals were I believe 19th or 20th ranked offense out of the 32 teams. Just because of this game alone, they skyrocketed. They went from 20th to 16th.
Yep.
A 4 spot change just because of Joe Burrow himself.
Well, the other thing I want to talk about is nobody really wants to address this because of who he is, but can we talk about how Lamar Jackson has looked like the worst quarterback in the NFL for the last 5 weeks?
Bro, let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about it.
Lamar ain't Lamar right now. I don't know what that is out there. That number 8 ain't number 8 anymore. I don't know who that is at quarterback. We talk about anybody that plays for Pittsburgh, it's looking like, well, you're chalked, it doesn't matter. Right now, it's looking like if you end up in Baltimore, you're going to Baltimore and your career's going to die. So, I don't know what's going on.
I think Lamar is still he's a little hampered by the hamstring. He's not moving like we're used to seeing. And that's, to me, I think his arm got a little bit overrated. Like in the recent years, don't get me wrong, he's a pretty good pocket passer. Don't get me wrong, he can make throws, but I think people started to overrate his arm personally, and now the fact that he can't move around and make plays for this subpar receiving core, where he's in the pocket for 5 seconds because he's that good of an athlete that he can find Zay Flowers wide open down the field, or Rashad Bateman wide open down the field.
Zay Flowers, we already talked about this.
Yeah,
but he's not making those type of plays anymore, so the offense is taking a hit because of it. As well as, not only is Lamar Jackson looking worse, Derrick Henry has also taken a step back. He doesn't have the burst anymore.
Mm-hmm.
He's still a solid back, don't get me wrong, but he doesn't have the burst anymore. He's not pulling away from guys like we used to see. And he's not making guys miss. Now, obviously he was just running guys over to make them miss, but he's not doing that as much anymore. So, the Ravens, they got a tough schedule coming up. As long as the Bengals win out, I agree. I think they win that division.
Hey, if you have a bird logo minus Seattle, you might be a fraud. Speaking of, moving into another bird team. OP4. OP4, OP4. The Black Friday game. Do you care to even want to start with this one? Because I'll tell you right now, I know what your problem is. I know what your team's problem is. And I actually think it has 0 ability on your players. I'm convinced that Nick Sirianni and Kevin Patullo are football terrorists, and I literally have a note here, Nick Sirianni doesn't deserve a high school job, let alone the coach of the Eagles. These guys suck at running this team. You cannot have a all-pro starting offense on paper and suck this bad. I don't care. A.J. Brown is head and shoulders a top 5 receiver in the NFL and is also the most underutilized receiver in the NFL. Look what happens when he actually gets targets, 10 for 132 and 2 tutties, and you still lose to the Chicago Bears. But the fact that A.J. Brown has to be in the news every 2 weeks to talk about his overrated-ass quarterback not throwing him the fucking football isn't because of Jalen Hurts. It's because of Sirianni and Patullo. And that's the fact of their game plan sucks that fucking bad that they couldn't even beat a D3 school right now. Until you guys get a new head coach, new offensive coordinator, and honestly, let's just throw everybody out at this point because it just seems like a cancerous issue. Throw the D coordinator out as well. Until you guys reset.
No.
Yes. Throw everybody out.
No.
You have so much talent on this team for your coaches to not do fuck all behind them.
No.
I hate the Eagles. You know I hate the Eagles. But as a football fan, watching this team struggle this fucking bad is actually starting to become very fucking frustrating. And I'm not even a fan of your fucking dumbass franchise.
Honestly, I will say it's been a pretty frustrating year overall, but I do want to say a couple things. One, Vic Fangio, great defensive coordinator. If we get rid of him, I probably won't watch football ever again. Now, talking about the 2 terrorists that we got on our squad on the offensive side of the ball, I do agree that they have been awful. They've been terrorists. I don't know. It can't be this hard to construct a viable offense with all this talent around on the team. However, I will say this. I will give them some grace. The last 2 weeks, I think offensively, the scheme has been better. I think
that's because Patullo's done the play calling the last 2 weeks.
I mean, whatever it is, we gotta build on this and we're using AJ Brown. I mean, I don't know why it took so damn long. Due to stud. Me personally, I don't understand. I don't know how it affects the locker room, but I don't really care about the antics. I mean, we've seen this throughout history. Every wide receiver is a diva a little bit. Some people are more subtle about it than others.
But normally the receivers that are divas are still getting targets. They're being divas for other reasons. A.J. Brown has every right to bitch and moan until the cows come home about this one, because to be underutilized when you're considered a top 4, top 5 receiver in the league, and you are arguably in a top 2, top 3 receiver tandem in the league, the fact that I can't get the ball more and I'm not being double covered and I'm not being schemed open and nothing is happening is a problem. I think he has every right to bitch and moan. Everyone wants to come down and scrutinize him. Fuck no. I'm over it at this point.
Yeah, I agree there 100%. I thought he was very everything he was saying was true, and he was right to be concerned with the offense. But I do think that that offensive line, oh man, it's fucking damn near terrible this year. It's been really bad. Everybody talks about Saquon. Some people are saying he's regressed. Some people are saying this and that.
No.
It's not that. The offensive line is just terrible. The scheme is terrible. There's no creativity in the offense, and that's really the issue. We got so many talented players that we're just telling them, hey, go win, and hoping that shit sticks. But in the NFL, that doesn't work. You got to scheme your guys open. You got to add some creativity. You got to add some unpredictability, and that's what the Eagles need to work on.
This year is living proof how important a center is to an offense. Jason Kelce leaving this team has completely destroyed any impact your offensive line has had, and it is shown in tenfold. You have one of the most talented runners this league has ever seen, off of the year he had last year, getting stuffed in every situation because your linemen can't maintain one-on-one blocks, let alone, yeah, cool, they can't stop a stunt. They're not very good at stopping a stunt. They really weren't last year either. But the issue behind it is, is if you can't one-on-one block, I think it's time to try somebody new. I don't know how many other teams have gone through 15-plus line combinations this year, but if the Eagles don't try something different or at least draft for something different, I don't know what's going to happen going forward. Like I said, this offense on the weapons side of things is all pro at every position. There's no reason that they shouldn't be able to handle this division, especially in the situation that this division is in right now. Like I said, I firmly believe Dallas is winning this division just because of how bad your situation actually looks right now.
P4, you'll like me. I've been the adamant Eagles defender on here and the Hurts defender. So yes, it's a bad loss, but we had the same energy against the Giants, and on October 9th, everybody was clowning the Eagles, and guess what? Put belt to ass to them. The 2 weeks after, I understand that you were right about the Chicago Bears. You can go on your rant, and once I'm done about the Chicago Bears. But if you look at the schedule, they're gonna. They have the Chargers. They have Vegas. They have like outside of the Chargers, it's fraud. It's Geno Smith. It's whoever the hell is in Washington. It's Josh Allen, who's been inconsistent, and then Washington again. There's no way that they don't make the playoffs as one of the favorites coming out of the NFC. They are objectively still one of the best teams with hindrances on their offense. It's still a objectively great team. The biggest thing, and I've said this before, I believe, and P4, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't it 2022 when Brian Johnson was the OC there, and it was this similar
23.
Yeah, 23. It was the same type of fucking issues to where you guys have a great offense. The play calling is fucking awful. It's inconsistent play, and then the year after they change him. Kevin Patullo and Nick Sirianni. I think Sirianni doesn't leave because I know Howie Roseman doesn't like to change head coaches really often. But you get rid of Patullo, and then you go get an objectively better OC out of one of these better style offenses this past year, and just say go ahead, because this, with the offense looking so bad, they're still a top 10 offense and a top 6 defense. We just understand that they could just be a lot better than they are with the objective, like.
But that's the thing is they 100% should be, because if they could run the ball, they would be a top 5 offense. They just can't run the ball right, and that's because of their front. And that's because of their front 5. That is what we've been preaching all year: is that the Eagles have been hindered because their line is weak right now.
And that's fair. And my thing is that I've a predication of you set up your runs, you set up the run, you run first to set up the pass, and if they can't set up the run with Saquon and how bad the offensive line is, then
it's
they
hard
can't
to see a receiver open. Yep.
Correct. So I'm just putting context, and I understand where it's coming from, but even in these Hurts low passing games, there's been halves where you're seeing Jalen Hurts making these passes, making these throws, and you're just like, yep, because all he does is shut the doubters wrong, because all they do is, because the Eagles are such a powerhouse team. I want Jalen Hurts to be able to continuously, not necessarily continue what he's doing, but make more audibles and make more reads on what he sees, because that's been my biggest thing about Jalen. I don't think he's able to read a complex defenses enough to where he's able to scheme people open. Now, granted, you could say, okay, he changed the pass to the run when Saquon had that like 80-yard touchdown against the Rams. Okay, cool. That's one time. Do it more consistently to where now you're just you're scheming AJ open. You're like, just be more of a football mind. I don't know, but I think that the Eagles are going to be fine. They were never going to be less than I didn't expect them to have a powerhouse year like they did last year, because they just had a harder schedule. They're fine. They're going to be fine.
And that's my thing is I want anyone that actually wants to come at me for the Jalen Hurts is overrated thing. I'm having an issue with Jalen Hurts because he plays 2 different styles of football. Jalen Hurts has regular season football and postseason football. where Jalen Hurts in the postseason looks like a game manager, looks like a guy who can work a defense, who can do these things. In the regular season, this man is a minimal thrower, is a minimal schemer, is a minimal reader. You have all these weapons, and he does have the arm talent to do the job. Why the fuck aren't we doing the job? I understand you can't run off it. I really understand that. But also, you can play action boot with him, and he can run the ball to set up a play action pass. Because if you're worried about the quarterback running and Saquon potentially maybe being able to bust off a 7 or 8 yard run, then we can start scheming it downfield. Are they ever going to do that?
Sure.
Probably not.
Mhm.
For me, on the other hand, moving to the other side of it, taking the team namesake out of the situation, I'd like to ask you both something. With a young quarterback, a young running back tandem that is actually producing, a young receiver core that's producing, 2 young tight ends that are producing, a good front 7 on defense, an okay secondary, and a new head coach, new OC, and new defensive coordinator, and a team is 9-3, how can we not talk about the Bears? I'm sorry. How can we not? If it wasn't the Bears and this was a situation in any other team, this would be the number 1 talk in football. You can't tell me I'm wrong. With a quarterback who's slightly fraudulent, a good running back tandem, 3 young weapons at the receiver position, plus DJ Moore, 2 tight ends that are actually certifiable vertical threats that can also block, a good front 7 on defense that's pretty solid at stopping the run. The secondary could be a little better, but you take what you can get in this NFL. And 3 new coaches leading your team, and this team is 9-3. You would have thought this team is 2-10. Coming into the year, looking at this team, you would have thought it's 2-10. They're too young, and it's 3 new coaches. It's going to be a learning curve. If this team is 9-3 now, as fraudulent as you want to say they are at 9-3, what are they going to be in the next 2 to 3 years? When they have development, when they show that they can do this, when they actually can work together as a team. They're 9-3 without the chemistry build. I don't know why everyone is overlooking the Bears as much as they are. Yes, it's 9-3 and it's fraudulent. You can get on Caleb's back about playing bad or being overplayed in every game by every other quarterback he's playing. But this team is young. This team is learning, and they're winning. With time, this team will get better.
Yeah. One of the things I hate most about football talk is this fraudulent talk. I absolutely hate it. I get it. The Bears, I don't know how many I mean, I don't want to say quality wins. I don't know how many playoff teams they've beaten, off the top of my head, but I mean, being 9-3, you're the number 1 seed in the NFC. There's nothing fraudulent about it. I hate that fraudulent talk. It's the NFL. We see good teams lose to bad teams every week. We're probably going to talk about it later. Like, nobody expected the Panthers to win that game. Look what happens. It's not. This isn't just. I mean, it's not college football. It's the pros. Everybody's got good players. It's not who you beat. It's how you look while doing it.
Yep.
And yeah, Caleb Williams.
Before, let me give you their breakdown.
Yeah.
Their how their seasons panned out. Lost to Minnesota week 1, lost to the Lions week 2. Beat Dallas, belt to ass, week 3. Beat the Raiders by 1, kind of whatever. Beat the Commanders by 1 when they were healthy, I want that clear. Beat the Saints, lost to the Ravens, beat Cincy, beat the Giants when they were healthy, beat Minnesota, whatever, beat Pittsburgh by 3, who technically is a contender at that time looking at it, and beat your Eagles. Now going into Green Bay, Cleveland, Green Bay, San Francisco, and the Lions week 18. So they have 3 division games and 5 games to prove that they belong where they are.
Okay, yeah. They probably won't get that 1 seed. That's a pretty tough schedule, I'm not gonna lie. They'll probably split with the Packers. I mean, I don't think they get swept by the Packers, but
I think they split 100%. I actually think they win the game this week in Lambeau.
I like the Bears a lot. I'm not gonna say I was 9-3 high on them coming into the year, but I was pretty high on them. I think Ben Johnson is a fantastic coach. He absolutely that running like the way he schemed that running game was beautiful to watch. Absolutely dogged my birds. It was that running game it's special. If they can get that working, yeah, they'll definitely be dangerous. I could definitely see them winning a playoff game. And I don't buy into that fraud talk. So
Anything? Anything.
No, it's
Like I said,
it's not
at the
real.
beginning of it's not real. That's funny. Like I said, at the beginning of the year, you take on paper what you can see, and you can take on paper what can be developed. With as young as they are, with the new 3 coaches, it was either going to be an Owen season or they were going to go insane. I bet on them going insane, and they went insane. They've won 9 games. The Bears should have won 4 games max this year. They should have, in theory. Have injuries plagued other teams that have helped them win games? Absolutely. 100%. Not my problem. It's professional sports. That's how it works. They're 9-3. Bears for NFC North champion. I'm still standing on it. Moving on. Jules, you'll be happy to talk about this one. Our boy CJ comes back from injury.
Yes.
Houston versus Indy. I want to get this out of the way first. I don't know what the injury with Daniel Jones's leg really is, but the fact that they're putting it out there that this man might have actually played on a broken leg and still played as well as he did, fair fucking play. Fair play.
Absolutely.
I don't know. I know why Daniel Jones had to play this game because I also know what backs up Daniel Jones. So, I don't know what kind of horse tranquilizer they gave him. I don't know what kind of brace was on that leg underneath all this stuff. If you actually played like that, good for you. On the other side of it with Indy, this is what happens when you get punched in the face by a real defense. This Houston defense, for me, is a top 3 defense in football. It could arguably be number 1. It could. It very well could. CJ coming back and played pretty good off the injury. He played pretty good. But I have a really interesting question mark here, and of course I'm just gonna tie it into my own team somehow, some way. This is year 3 for CJ Stroud. On pace to go 10-7 in all 3 of his seasons. Is CJ Stroud content with being the Mike Tomlin of quarterbacks in the NFL?
God. That's nasty.
No matter what happens to him, he's just gonna find a way to get a winning record and then do nothing in the playoffs.
Well, so funny enough, we talked about it a little bit earlier. Because Cincy being the last, or I guess not technically last because it's the fucking Browns, the Texans were legitimately the worst team in their division because I believe the Titans had a win before them, and
Correct.
They have made from the last 2 now in contentions with the AFC South. Now I need to recant my apology to the fucking Colts that I did a couple weeks ago because of the fact that I was saying that I know before you just mentioned it, you hate fraud talk. I was never a believer in the Colts. I thought the Colts were like the Vikings last year, where you have Jonathan Taylor. This is now the 2nd week in a row that he's facing a good defense, and he's not being able to do shit. And they're asking now. You put the context behind it. Daniel Jones is on a broken leg. I understand that, but even prior, if you look at his passing chart outside of Alec Pierce, everything's about 15 yards. He doesn't throw the ball downfield. He's dipping and dunking and doing what he needs to do to get them in position to then get to a goal line stand, give it to Jonathan Taylor, and go, right? And
if anybody's watching this, I just want to be clear. This is the time of year that Jules turns on for football. Week 6 to week 13 for Jules is like, okay, whatever, football's happening, da-da-da-da-da. Now that we're hitting that playoff race and everything's really intriguing, Jules is so excited to talk football, it's not even funny.
It's great because again, I'm the CJ Stroud stan, just like how I am the Justin Fields stan, but now I look better with this than the Justin Fields thing. We will never talk about that shit. Justin Fields is gone. But but the fact that this team is now looking
he would be
a lot.
If he played for Pittsburgh still.
Oh my god! But I'm just saying that C.J. Stroud is looking the same as what Davis Mills was. It's like that offense now looks completely competent. Nico Collins looks really good.
He's looking really 10-7. Yep, he's looking really 10-7.
And to be honest with you, that 10-7 is probably still going to win the division because Trevor Lawrence is ass, Daniel Jones is on a broken leg, and Cam Ward is on the fucking Titans. So we're kind of like,
though, Trevor Lawrence might be ass, but that rest of that Jaguars team is not ass. They got they might. I'm going to say this right now, and this could be the hot take. They might have the best linebacker core in the NFL. They might have the best linebacker core in the NFL.
I'm not mad at that. I would biasly say someone else, but I don't think that's a bad take.
I wonder who.
The New York Jets. Thank you. No, I'm kidding. But the Jesus Christ, my cat. I just don't think the Jags will be able to get over the hump because at this point, usually, this is when everything kind of starts to go downhill for Jacksonville, and that's been Trevor Lawrence's kind of thing.
Good thing they get to play Indy this week, right?
Well, that's the thing too, is that like it's going to be a good game, but if you always remember, they'll BTA the Colts at home, but then get smoked when they're at Indy. So I think I know this is we're supposed to be talking about the Texans, but just quickly, the Jags are playing the Colts this week, then the Jets, whatever, Denver, Colts, and Tennessee. So they could, we don't know, but for the Texans specifically, I think they're in prime position to make a division run because where everybody else is, and CJ Stroud needs to just look how he looked last week and just go forward because the first half CJ Stroud looks awful. Talking about second half guys like Joe Burrow, CJ Stroud usually turns it on in the second half.
Hey, listen. So, not only do I think they have a good chance to win in that division, it's maybe a hot take. I think they're going to be the team to come out the AFC this year. The AFC has got there's no true dominant team in the AFC. And what it's really going to come down to, for me personally, is obviously one, QB play, and two, defenses coming up with stops. I don't think there's a single offense in the AFC this year where I'm saying, yeah, they're putting up 30 points in a playoff game, especially against that Houston defense. DeMeco Ryans has those guys playing physical, they're playing fast, they look fantastic. If CJ Stroud the O-line's also looking a bit better. I'm not gonna say it's a huge difference, but they're looking a bit better.
Yeah.
So if CJ Stroud,
Jules, is the ice cream man driving by?
Literally, that's why I fucking muted myself right outside my fucking window.
That's it, bro. Oh, I forgot you're fucking
LA.
on the West Coast. I'm like, what the fuck? But me personally, I know it's a hot take, but that defense is absolutely elite. Woody Marks is playing good. CJ Stroud, I've always been a believer in CJ Stroud. Had him top 10 quarterback before this year. He had me a little scared early in the season, but I love CJ Stroud. Nico Collins, another guy on my fantasy team, fucking putting up big numbers. And I truly think that they can beat any of those AFC teams. They could definitely beat the Bills. Not worried about the Jags. Not worried about the Colts. I don't believe in those teams at all. Who is there? The Patriots? I mean, the Patriots are good. You know, they got the MVP, but all those teams are very beatable. And I think the Texans have I think they have what it takes. It's crazy to say that the Texans will be in the Super Bowl, but I'm going out on a limb saying that now.
I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to raise you one. It's not a team that's in contention right now that's coming out the AFC. I think Joe Burrow runs it all the way. I think Cincy can actually do it. Can you imagine if they just win out to the Super Bowl just to get BTA'd by the Rams?
Common Reddit opinion.
Yeah, I mean the NFC's winning the Super Bowl this year though. It's like damn near set in stone.
That's also fair.
Speaking of the Rams, let's just move right into this. I have zero notes on this game. I have zero notes on this game. It literally says what in the actual fuck are the Carolina Panthers this year? What is this team? How do you play so ungodly bad one week and then beat the Super Bowl favorites, and then play ungodly bad and beat the number 2 team. And I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand. I mean, the play behind Bryce Young, Tet, what's the running back? Dowdle's out now, so that's not even a. Chuba has a resurgence game. Jalen Coker of all people. What? I'm
Hell
so
yeah. Hell yeah.
I'm so confused. Stafford, you looked like an idiot this week. You didn't look like an MVP. Hold on to the damn football, dude. What are we talking about? We talked about last week when Drake May played so fucking ungodly bad, he handed Stafford the MVP. Stafford just played so ungodly bad, he just let Drake May back in the race. What in the again, I think we've said it every week on this podcast. What in the actual fuck is this NFL season? What in the actual fuck is going? This is a matrix. Can we take the goggles off? Like, can we take them off? Can we figure this out? I don't know what's going on with football right now. Carolina looks like a competent team against challengers and then can't play against Atlanta. I don't get it.
Before I go on my rant.
Yes, please. This was a wonderful week for me outside of the Eagles losing. One, I want to say this NFL season has been amazing. I'm really enjoying this NFL season. But shout out Bryce Young. I love Bryce Young. I've been a big believer in Bryce Young. Dave Canales is he's a pretty underrated coach. I think we got to start talking about him more. But shout out Bryce Young. Shout out the Panthers. Bryce Young, big time. Two touchdowns on 4th down. Come on, guys. He's shown the flashes. He just needs to be more consistent. I really hope the Panthers.
Out here looking like prime Tony Romo on game-winning drives.
Bro,
I'm telling you what.
Bryce Young, I love Bryce Young. I really hope they get into the playoffs this year. I think they'll be an exciting team to watch. And now talking about the Rams, because anybody will tell you I despise the Rams, and I despise the Rams not because I love Devontae Adams. You guys know this. I love Devontae Adams. Puka's fantastic. I don't have a problem with Matthew Stafford, but I feel like they're the most overrated team every single season. Every year I hear the Rams are going to the Super Bowl. Every year. Every single year. Oh, nobody wants to see the Rams in the playoffs. Nobody this, everybody that. Guys, just relax, please. Okay? Yeah. Matthew Stafford, right? He's been playing at an MVP level. But like I said, I've been saying this. When he plays competent teams this year, he hasn't played like an MVP. He's been good. Don't get me wrong. It's not like he's been playing bad, right? But when he played the Texans, what did they do? They put up 14 points, right? He played the Seahawks. He didn't look like an MVP, that's for sure, right? And now he plays the Panthers. And what the fuck did he do? 3 turnovers? 3 turnovers?
I'm so confused at this whole situation because, like, on paper going into the year, we talk about it all the time. It's like everyone always says we don't want to see the Rams. We don't want to see the Rams, and I'm like, why? Like, I don't get it. Like. But the thing is like, I will give the Rams the credit where credit's due. Their defensive front 4 has been very solid this year. They do have very good pressure on the quarterback, regardless of who the hell they're playing. Kyren Williams has looked good, not great. He's actually probably been the catalyst for this offense. We talk about it all the time. The run sets up the pass. And when Kyron's in the zone and he's dialing it up, he makes it a lot easier for Stafford. But I think, crazy enough, I don't want to be this person. I might get laughed at for it. The Rams are kind of in the same boat that Indy is. If your run game can't get off the ground, they can't create with the passing. And that's just kind of what it is. When Kyren doesn't run well, they don't play very well. When Kyren isn't able to break stuff off to leave Stafford the time, granted, we talked about it last week. Stafford, the guy who wasn't even supposed to fucking play this year because his back was jacked up, is in the MVP conversation. So I don't know if some of these are like, hey, we need to protect him at all times because he can throw, but he's not very mobile. But these games where he's got to get mobile, you can tell something's wrong with him. You can really tell.
Is it my turn? Can I have the mic now?
You're just gonna rant that you hate the Rams because they're in your division. They're fraudulent. I'm sick of hearing about them because they're in my division. Seattle's head and shoulders better than they are. They have blah 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 blah. Yeah, I get it, Jules. I'm really overhearing it at this point. You hate them because they always win your division somehow, some way, some way.
Hey, Jules, just before you go, I just want to say this too. Justin, Drake May has been the MVP for weeks now, and it's
I've
solidified.
been saying it. I've been
Matthew
saying it. I've
Stafford.
been saying it.
We're done with this MVP talk, man. I'm
Yeah.
done with it.
And even with the MVP talk that we had as our midseason stuff, you guys remember, I didn't say Stafford. I said somebody else. I said Jonathan Taylor. That was a shit wash, but I wasn't sold on Stafford.
That aged like fine fucking wine with the Jonathan Taylor take, Jules. I just want you to know. That aged so prime. Like I said, after having that conversation, it's like, okay, well, Drake May just had a really bad week. No, I still think he's the front runner. Stafford goes and does this. I look like a fucking genius again.
Right. So again, contextually, after all of their wins, right? They put 14 up against the Texans, and C.J. Stroud has a shitty game. They create a whole bunch of turnovers, can't score on them. They put BTA to the Titans, not moved. They look good in the first half against Philly, and guess what? Philly has a resurgence in the second half and put BTA to them. They should have lost the fucking Colts game because of God, I forget the turnover.
Mitchell.
Yeah, A.D. Mitchell. They lose an OT against San Fran. They beat the Ravens, who I believe wasn't even with Lamar. I think Lamar got hurt. So then they beat Jacksonville. Okay, not moved. They get their bye. They beat the Saints, not moved. They beat the 49ers with Mac Jones. Okay, Mac Jones had a good game. I can give them that win. They beat us, but even with 4 interceptions, we go down the field, we miss that field goal. Again, close game. They beat Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay has literally nobody at wide receiver, and Baker Mayfield is hurt. There's putting context behind every single thing, and this is what I was yelling at fucking Retro last week, is that we can't just look at, okay, win, and just be like, yeah, that's a good team. That's the same thing with the Patriots, right? Softest schedule in 30 fucking years, and they're 10-2. So this is where we need to start putting context behind everything, to where it's like, okay, we're looking at the stats and just like, okay, cool, he's 32-2. Devontae Adams has less than 700 yards, and he has 14 touchdowns. Majority of his touchdowns are within 10 yards. And shout out to Devontae Adams, but the conversation that he revitalized his career is disgusting. It's disgusting. It's not true.
He looks like James Jones on the Raiders that one year where James Jones led the league in touchdowns.
Literally. So that's where I'm saying it's not like this is not me trying to say I hate the Rams. I'm trying to put context behind every single thing that has happened up to this point, and now they're going to Arizona, which they've struggled against Arizona, even though Arizona like hates playing at home, so they'll probably beat them. Then they got the Lions, then they got us again, they got the Falcons, and then Arizona, because we just don't know. We just don't know.
So,
I'm just saying.
They'll go 3-2.
And
maybe
we can go 3-2.
Maybe 4-1.
Maybe. And like I said, I don't know.
I'm going to contextualize this to one thing is I do think that the Rams and the Seahawks are the 2 best teams on that side. I think that's just where it's going to come down to. Record-wise, team-wise, everything, that's fine. You can shake your head all you want. Your birds are just trash. It is what it is. And like I said, I told you, I'll defend your Eagles all I can, but at the end of the day, your team is trash because your coaching is trash, and you can't win without good coaching. That's just what it is. I mean, good coaching made Daniel Jones an MVP candidate for 8 weeks, so let's just talk about that. But it's just the way it is. So, Rams, this is kind of a panic button situation, but kind of not. I mean, it's minimal things to correct. It's Stafford can't get hit from behind. That's just a thing that can't happen. I mean, especially when you got a bad back. You can't let this dude take shots from behind because with him being threatened to not only lose his season, crazy. For him to not only lose his season thoughts in preseason, but this man takes one shot in the back and this man might just lose his life. So
Stop
we need to
back shots, Justin. Damn.
I'm not. I'm saying shots in the back. Thank you, though. You're the one contextualizing it to being pretty.
Say contextualizing one more time.
Yeah, exactly. You won basketball last night. Crazy. Yeah, I mean, that's really all I got for games this week. I mean, the only other thing I'd like to point out is shout out to the Vikings quarterback, Mr. Brosmer, for the best-looking interception pick 6 I've ever seen in the history of football. That was amazing. You decided you were going to throw an underhand spiral directly to a Seahawks secondary player, and he was going to take it to the crib. That was mighty, mighty entertaining to watch.
Shout
Oh
out
my
Ernest
God.
Jones.
Yeah. Moving on to the fun part of the show. We have another little bit of a different one here this week for games. This one's going to be a King of the Hill edition. Shout out Pick a Side on TikTok. I saw this one for you guys. I actually really like this one. It's kind of like the Pick 3 Cut 5, but it's straight King of the Hill. So it's one guy stays.
Okay.
It's current receiver duos.
Okay.
And it's starting with Jay Jettas and Jordan Addison, and first round matchup for them is Amon-Ra and J-Mo.
P4. What are we thinking?
Honestly, that's a good one.
This year.
Well, if that's the case, then we gotta go. I would say Amon-Ra and J-Mo this year.
I would agree.
Amon-Ra and J-Mo? Amon-Ra and
Mhm.
J-Mo, A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith.
AJ.
Okay, cool. AJ Brown and Devontae Smith.
A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith versus JSN and Cooper Kupp.
AJ Brown, Devontae
AJ Brown and Devontae. Mm-hmm.
A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith versus Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams.
Sadly, you gotta pick the shitty Rams.
Gotta pick the shitty Rams, I agree.
Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams versus CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. Jules' eyes just got huge.
CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens have been the best tandem this year, in my opinion.
I disagree. I think it's Puka and Devontae.
If this isn't a disagree, you guys have to come to a collective.
So P4. CeeDee Lamb doesn't know how to catch a fucking football, right? Devontae Adams knows how to catch a football.
No, he's had a lot of drops this year. He had a lot of drops this year, though. He's had a lot of drops this year as well. And also, I mean, at the end of the day, CeeDee Lamb is better. Okay, right? George Pickens has arguably been better than Puka this year, right? Arguably, he's been better, right? CeeDee Lamb is definitely better than Devontae Adams. That's for sure. So, I mean, to me personally, one, Puka's been hurt. He hasn't been. CeeDee's also been hurt, so I guess that's fair.
Saying.
But are we gonna pick the Rams again, Jules? Come on, guy. I thought you were a Seahawks fan. I mean, I don't hate the Cowboys, man.
You're not a real Eagles fan.
I don't hate the Cowboys, man.
There's one team left after this, just so we're clear.
I already probably know who it is because I'm gonna trump it. So yeah, we can take CD and Pickens. That's fine because I already know my decision.
And then CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens against Jamar Chase and T. Higgins.
I'm taking them by far. I don't care.
I agree.
I think CD and Pickens have better production this year, but we're just in the midst to glaze our king some more. Joe Burrow coming back, so they're gonna have better production by the end of the year, in my opinion.
You are moving pretty zesty in this last 10 minutes of this podcast.
Well, I don't care. All
right, the next one is the Pick 3 Cut 5, and there's two of these. So the first one is all-time running back tandems. So they had to play on the same team at the same time.
Okay.
So the first one I have is Jacobs and Bradshaw for the Giants.
Oh, put them bums, man.
Brandon Jacobs and Ahmad Bradshaw for the Giants.
Shout out those guys though, because
Super Bowl champions, by the way.
Me being from New York, shout out those guys.
Super Bowl champions, by the way.
Yeah, and they're also not Hall of Famers with that shitty quarterback out there, so not moved.
That's crazy.
Stop them.
They're not.
Stewart and Williams on the Panthers.
It's an underrated duo, but I think that's a cut.
Man, get them bums out of here, man.
Okay. Maurice Jones-Drew and Fred Taylor for the Jags.
I love that duo. I think that's another really underrated duo.
That might be the most certifiable keep I've ever heard, just so we're clear.
I don't know how P4's ball knowledge is. It's pretty low.
Let's keep him.
Let's keep him? Okay, let's keep him.
All right. Freeman and Coleman for the Falcons.
Tevin Coleman. He was a fantasy fucking god back in the day.
Devontae Freeman was also pretty good.
Yeah.
I do think it's a cut though. I don't know who's next, but
I would say cut.
Okay.
I would agree.
I would say cut.
Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara for the Saints.
Ooh. You see, I do think they're better
Well-
than the last tandem that we just had. Now, well, how many are left after this?
3.
Well, is
Interesting.
it their first stint together or their second stint together? Because don't they have
Yes.
2 stints? Yes is great.
Yes. Here's the thing, though. You can take the first stint where Ingram was the guy and Kamara was the complement, or you can take the second stint where Kamara was the guy and Ingram was the complement.
That's what I'm saying is that like,
I would
they work so well.
I would say the first stint was more significant because Ingram was dominant and Kamara was the perfect complement, whereas the second stint when Kamara was the man, Ingram wasn't so complimentary, but he was still doing his job as a backup back. I would take the first stint if I were you.
Hey, Jules, we can go whatever you want. I do think they were better than the last two, so
You have 2 keeps left, and then including this, you have 3 more teams, or including this, you have 4 more.
4 more.
So you have 2 keeps for 4 teams still.
This might be a tough cut then.
yeah, let's cut them.
Next up is arguably, in my opinion, already a top 5 running back tandem in NFL history. Sonic and Knuckles in Detroit.
Yeah, I would agree actually. I think they're both fantastic backs. I'm cool with keeping them.
I know Justin. He's gonna fuck us somehow. I'm gonna keep.
Okay. Next up is Ricky Williams and Ronnie Brown in Miami.
So Ricky Williams.
Hey, Brown was not terrible as the complimentary back to Ricky Williams.
Hey, it wasn't terrible, but
this is the same situation. This is the same situation as Ingram Kamara the first time, except Williams is way better than Ingram, and Brown was about on par with what Kamara was doing behind Ingram.
I would cut.
I would also cut that guy. He was too busy getting high off that jaw.
So this next one, the last one that you guys have here, it's kind of a shitty one, but it's definitely worth to keep. You guys used on it, in my opinion. You guys cut the Giants, cut the Panthers, cut the Falcons, cut the Saints, cut Miami to keep MJD and Taylor on the Jags, to keep Sonic and Knuckles in Detroit, and to keep LaDainian Tomlinson and Michael the Burner Turner on the Chargers. Granted, Michael Turner didn't blow up until he went to Atlanta, but you're getting LT.
P4 would have had my fucking head if we fucking kept that.
Let's go. The greatest running back of all time, bro. He's beautiful.
He's not the greatest, but he's top 5. I love him to death, too. Don't worry. This one is going to be interesting, and I really wish Retro was here for it. I'm not going to save it for him, though, because I really want to see where you guys go. College receiver duos based on their NFL careers.
Okay.
The first one is Stedman Bailey and Tavon Austin out of West Virginia.
Wait, is this keep and cut?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm cutting.
Cutting Tavon Austin?
Cutting Tavon Austin's crazy.
Yeah, that
the greatest highlight tape of all time.
I was gonna say he's got that Austin Rivers highlight tape for the NFL, bro. I'm not moving.
But yeah, cut him, bro. Get him out of here.
All right. For the rest of them, I'm actually gonna name the school and see if you guys can name the duo. So the next one's Clemson.
I can't name the duo.
Hunter Renfrow and
no, is it? No way they played at the same time, right? Sammy Watkins and
yeah.
How about D-Hop and T. Higgins?
You see, I was gonna say Sammy Watkins and D-Hop. Really, they played together?
D-Hop and T. Higgins.
Sheesh. I mean, you gotta keep that one, right?
I'm keeping it. Yeah.
You're keeping that? All right. I respect that. The next up is Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
CeeDee Lamb and Sterling Shepard.
CeeDee Lamb and Hollywood Brown.
Oh my gosh, Hollywood Brown blows.
Yeah, he blows. So CeeDee Lamb, basically. Like, fuck. Yeah, no.
Man.
No.
Yeah, we can cut him. We can cut him.
The next one up is Alabama.
Julio and and Devontae?
No.
Jalen Waddle and Devonta Smith.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, that's a. Oh, Jesus Christ, it's Bama. Oh, wait. No, this is a cut. I know. See, P4, this is why I was saying a little bit before. I know how Justin fucking works, and if we would have kept that.
The next school up is Ole Miss.
We can cut him.
AJ
Brown and DK.
AJ Brown and DK Metcalf.
That's Lane Kiffin Merchants.
Oh my gosh.
Next is Georgia.
Georgia.
Lad McConkey
and George Pickens.
And I forget why I always feel like George Pickens is from GT.
Like you see, okay, do we keep DK Metcalf, bro?
No, you already cut DK, bro. You're on Georgia. You're on Lad and George Pickens.
Oh my gosh.
How many
Lad
more?
and George Pickens. We gotta cut him, bro.
If we cut them, then we're certified the next two.
I'm cool with that, honestly.
Okay.
I'm cool with that.
That sucks so bad.
Ew,
all right,
bro.
So you cut the West Virginia duo of Stedman Bailey and Tavon Austin. You cut the Oklahoma duo of CeeDee Lamb and Hollywood Brown. Cut the Alabama boys, Jalen Waddle and Devonta Smith. Can't believe P4 cut both of his top receivers, A.J. Brown and DK out of Ole Miss.
Hey, I didn't want to.
You cut Lad McConkey and George Pickens to keep the best college duo of all time, Jay Jettas and Jamar Chase, and JSN and Garrett Wilson.
Yeah,
that's W's. Come on.
See, this is why Retro needs to get off the podcast, because every time we have a guest, we do a lot better on these guys.
That's because you guys agree. The whole point is that I'm the moderator and you and Retro fight each other. It's supposed to be the entertainment value.
Fucking Retro doesn't.
To be fair, though, fighting this out, I would have, if Retro was here, I would have wanted you to argue so hard for the West Virginia duo because it's Retro hating every team from West Virginia or from Virginia's period.
I would have definitely pulled the best highlight tape in NFL history with Tavon.
It's okay. I just had to make sure to put the OSU boys at the bottom and try to bait you with some of these good tandems beforehand. That's just the way it had to work.
I knew LSU and Ohio as soon as when I was starting on my soliloquy. I'm like, I know LSU and Ohio State are going to be here. I know.
There was part of me that was just going to keep OSU completely off the board and throw some random duo out there at the end there, just to make sure that I have to cut the LSU boys because I need to get my OSU boys, and then you end up with like a Western Kentucky or a BYU duo. That's just
there was no way I was letting Jules cut LSU. So
yeah.
Well, it's fine because Ohio State's wide receiver, so.
Yeah. With that being done, let's run right into the quick pick'em of the week.
Can I say something really quick before we go into? Yeah, because this is why I was wearing this, right? So Ohio State, right? Talking about Michigan and that fraud fucking team, that cheating ass fucking team.
It's been 3 days, 17 hours, and like 38 minutes since Michigan's been able to beat OSU.
Yes, and the fact that we put BTA to team up north, like I've been here, and now we're just gonna have to go through a more qualified team in Indiana. So hopefully we get to the college football playoff and just run the table with everybody, just like we did last year.
What hopefully are you talking about? If you guys drop a game, you guys are frauds. I know you don't like that word before. Ohio State's head and shoulders better than every college football team that's playing right now. If you don't win the Natty, you're frauds.
Mind you, best defense, second best defense in NCAA history by scoring wise. We are clearing that 2000 Miami Hurricanes team. They averaged 10 points. We're giving 7.4 points a game, I believe, 7.6. So.
Yeah, but their offense is better, so you will never be the best team. No matter what you put out, you're not the best team. That Miami team was different. Yeah, whatever.
LSU will forever be the best college team of all time.
I think that Miami team's got him, and I'm an LSU guy. That Miami team was unreal. Anyway, Thursday Night Football, Dallas at Detroit. Dallas.
Oh my god, bro. Oh my god. It's Detroit.
Oh man, honestly, that game's it's a toss-up. Honestly, I like what the Cowboys are doing. I'm going Detroit. They got to bounce back at some
The
point, right?
Lions are favored by 3.
They got to bounce back at some point, right?
Moving into the Sunday slate, we got a battle of the birds. The Seahawks are playing Atlanta. Seahawks.
For sure.
Seattle. Cincy.
Cincy.
Yeah, Cincy. I'll clear that one. Tennessee at Cleveland.
The shit bowl $8 walk-in game of the week.
It actually went down $1 since we've started. It's now $7 to get in.
Oh my god. Give me Cam Ward. Give me the Titans.
Give me Cleveland's defense. Just the
Give me
defense.
Cleveland.
The piss break match of the week after that one is Washington at Minnesota.
Hi.
Jeez, I heard Jaden Daniels supposed to come back, right?
He was supposed to this week, didn't, so I'm hoping he plays this week. If he does, I think they win cleanly.
Yeah, give me the Commanders. I don't care who's back there at quarterback for the Vikings.
I want the Meteor, but I'm taking Washington. Miami at New York Jets. Jets finally got a win last week.
Yeah, give me the Jets to win 2 in a row.
Give me the resurgence of Tua Tagovailoa.
Give me the Jets.
New Orleans at Tampa.
Tampa.
I got Tampa as well.
I'll do Tampa.
Indiana Jones at Fabio.
Give me Fabio. Who the hell is Fabio?
Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, give me the Jacks.
I will take Jacksonville as well. Division matchup of the piss break of 2nd and 3rd place in the AFC North. Pittsburgh versus Baltimore.
Oh, good God.
Yep.
Are we in Baltimore this week?
At Baltimore. Which means give me Pittsburgh.
I'd say Pittsburgh.
I'll take the Ravens. Denver.
Chicago at Green Bay.
Green Bay.
Ooh, Green Bay.
Chicago. The Rams at the Cardinals. Jules, this is your coin flip of the week here.
It's gonna be the Rams. The Cardinals don't know how to play home games.
But Jacoby Brissett might.
Give me the Rams.
Give me the Rams.
Yeah, the Rams.
Houston at KC.
Houston. P4. Houston P4.
Oh man, this is a tough one for me, but yeah, I'm gonna go Houston.
And then the Monday night matchup is Philly at the Chargers.
It's Philly.
Birds by 40.
Give me the Chargers.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and that wraps up the pick'em. Basically, that's it. Our sports history fact of the day. It was saved. I gotta go back and grab it now. Where'd it go? Good Lord. There it is. On time of recording, this is December 2nd, 1984. Miami quarterback Dan Marino breaks NFL single-season touchdown passing record when he throws his 37th touchdown. In the Dolphins' loss to the Raiders, he finished the season with 48 touchdowns. Record no longer stands, but at that time, that was basically unheard of. So.
Yeah, and how many picks? Like 30?
Something like that. But I'm going to add one in here because I can. 1985, Chicago Bears head coach Mike Ditka and defensive coordinator Buddy Ryan almost come to blows at halftime with Miami at the Orange Bowl in a loss, Chicago's only loss of that NFL season. So we're flashing it back. The Bears are flashing it back 40 years.
Shout out the Bears, man.
Yeah, shout out to the Bears. They haven't been relevant in 40 years, and they will still not have a 4,000-yard passer by the end of its Caleb Williams' career.
They won't have a 4,000-yard passer. You are correct. That won't be his job. But if Kyle Monangai and DeAndre Swift can continue what they're doing, I think the Bears can still make some noise.
Fair.
Jules, send us to the promised land.
Yeah, for that was We Don't Know Ball. P4 is our special guest. Again, thank you for coming on because Retro wants to bail out on us because fuck Disney. Ben.
I'd bail out too if both my teams were sucking as bad as they are lately. Shout out the Commanders and Bulls for being Retro's teams and just absolutely being certifiable dog shit.
P4 with his Bulls as well. I totally forgot you're a Bulls fan.
He's an Indiana Pacers fan. Don't let him fool you.
Mavericks fan as well, huh?
Oh, shit.
Yeah, you are.
Shout
out
to
Ryan
the
Nemhard, man.
Shout out to the
Back to
Nemhard
family.
Yeah, shout out to fam. Again, this has been an episode of We Don't Know Ball. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. Engage with us. Again, keep talking about it. I want you guys to comment, to make suggestions, all this kind of stuff to make this better because we want to listen to our fans if we got it. I know that the NBA players listen to us. I don't know about the NFL players. But again, this has been Jules, P4, and Justin. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.